Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Board of Selectmen for Tuesday, February 11th to order. This is the Board of Selectmen's final deliberations and vote on the fiscal 2020-21 recommended budget. After tonight, we will be working to present this budget to the Board of Finance. And let's see if I can come up with the date of that. Well, we present this budget to the Board of Finance on Tuesday, March 3rd, along with the Board of Education's budget. I would like to just first take a moment. I gave you some information at our Board of Selectmen meeting Monday night that I had an update on in case you're interested in the sewer work that's going on in town. There was some work that was supposed to be happening this week in the northeastern quadrant of the town, but that was postponed until next week because of the weather. And there's also a sewer main relining project happening on Center Street on the 18th and 19th of February. So you'll see some vendors in town doing that very important work. And before we get into discussing our recommended changes, that's how we're going to organize this evening. We're going to talk about the modifications that the Board of Selectmen, various members within, have recommended. And we will, depending on the will of my board, we will vote either in aggregate or item by item, whatever is the wish of my colleagues. But first, I want to thank Kate Bush and Jen Charneski for their professionalism and diligence in crafting the town administrator's budget and then working with us to answer all of our questions. And again, I'm gratified by having new members on the board who bring new insights to budget deliberations. I think it's all been very, very positive. And I also thank the members of Finance and Budget and Board of Finance that have been with us all through the process and have also added to our discussions by asking great questions. And hopefully your engagement will allow for a smooth process going forward for the rest of the budget adjudication process. So with that, I would like to see first if Kate and Jen have anything that they want to acknowledge before we get started looking at the spreadsheet you provided to us this evening. No? Okay. So I think what we'll do for people that are listening is we'll sum up by discussing each of the recommended modification items individually, so you can see exactly where the changes are that we're recommending in this budget. Unless my board feels differently, then we'll just start at the top.
No.
Okay. Yep. Great. So in relation to revenues, we are recommending that we increase the revenue assumptions on interest on town investments by $171,000. You may recall we had the discussion about the important work of the town treasurer, who provided an analysis that gave several scenario options for various revenues falling from those scenarios. Our treasurer is very conservative in her estimates, and David brought some information to the board that allowed us to feel comfortable choosing a different scenario that the treasurer had recommended, slightly less conservative, but still, I believe, in our minds, don't want to put words into anyone's mouth, that still represent an appropriate conservative posture on investment revenues. So that's the first recommendation, and $171,000 in additional revenue. An additional addition of $1,000 for veterans exemptions, for revenue for veterans exemptions, an additional $2,000 anticipated in rental income for the concessionaire at our beaches. And then we move into our expenditures changes. The police communications overtime salary can be reduced by $10,000 with the acceptance of the plan to hire 3 dispatchers for the overnight shift, because we anticipate not backfilling all the midnight shifts, according to what we heard from Chief Anderson. Unfortunately, we have to add $20,000 to our hydrants and water mains budget, based on rate changes from Aquarion. Emergency medical services, $986 additional to the budget to cover a once-a-week car wash for the paramedic vehicle, which we now have responsibility for. For the public library, we have removed, at the request of the library, a request for a truck, $36,500. I've recommended a $25,000 cut to the general grant, as we discussed last night, and resulting adjustments to $9,853 for retirement and $1,918 for LAP and workers' comp associated with the personnel expenses at the library. Moving into our risk management department, some modest changes. I'll just run down them quickly. General property and crime coverage, we add $639. Boiler and machinery insurance, we add $134. Workers' comp, we take a cut of $31,578. General liability insurance, an increase of $3,882. Auto insurance premiums, an addition of $1,031. Umbrella liability, an addition of $1,942. And public officials liability, an addition of $1,155. For our contingency account, based on our salary set-aside assumptions, we can take a cut of $13,000. And our transfers out to other funds for capital, we're moving $43,000, correct? Is that?
Removing.
We remove $43,000. So that's for an aggregate decrease in the town administrator's proposed budget of $141,080. So I don't know if you want to stop there and talk about operating and then go on to capital, or I'll finish up and talk about capital. Okay, I'll finish up. So in capital, we have, in our revenues, we have the addition of the $43,000 into the capital.
It's a reduction of 43.
I'm sorry, I read this incorrectly because it doesn't have those parentheses.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, the opposite. Okay, thank you. And cuts to the capital, we are recommending cutting the request from the fire commission to extend the concrete pad. Our thought process is there about asking them if they might consider using their false alarm funds to do that. Parks and Rec, we've cut the traffic study for Cherry Lawn Park. We've cut $30,000 of the $66,000 requested for painting the tennis courts at Weed Beach. We only would like them to consider repainting the front courts this year. And we've added $15,000 for a project to rehab the basketball court at Cherry Lawn Park. So that's a decrease of $43,000. All right, so I open it up to my board for deliberations on those recommended cuts and additions to our budget.
Didn't want to finish the sewer and all that stuff?
We're gonna go through all of it. I mean, those are just.
Sewer was the solution to the, the discussion
Sewers.
about the
Yeah.
uninsured loss, that we decided to include a contribution from fund balance as a revenue item, so that if we do not use that expenditure line item, the fund balance is not impacted. And the ratepayers are not impacted.
But adding the.
And then in the sewer, I had inadvertently left out one of the capital projects that should have been
The
included.
weird thing, right.
So given that these are enterprise funds,
Yeah, they don't
okay.
impact the tax rate.
correct.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone? Comments, questions, additional modifications?
Just for clarification, as I'm new to the Board of Selectmen, this budget for the departments that are under this roof,
Yes.
that these are monies allocated to the department for them to use as they see fit, correct? I just want to get, just for example.
Well, when you say as they see fit.
Well, okay, let me give a better example. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'll be more specific to be clear. Cherry Lawn traffic study.
Yeah, well, we cut that one.
There's a proposed cut of $8,000
Yes.
to remove the requested funds for that
Yes.
study. If the commission doesn't feel, they don't agree with that decision, may they continue to go forward with the study and
No.
use? Okay, that's what I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, they would need to have an appropriation to go forward with it. So, different from the Board of Education.
Correct, I just
okay?
wanted to, right.
Yeah, so when we have, if you look at any one department, say some of the departments have an appropriation for tires, and they use all the money in the appropriation for tires, but they need to get another tire. They can't charge that extra tire to operating supplies. They'd have to come to us and get a transfer into the tire account, okay? We've talked about the transfer process before where there is some latitude.
Right.
But still you have to move, the expense has to be charged to the appropriate account and there has to be sufficient appropriation to cover it. And same goes for capital. And that's why we sometimes get a little specific about the names or sometimes a little not specific about the names.
Okay, fair enough. I just thought I wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I thought that was the case, but just wanted to make, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Gentlemen? Comments, questions, none? Okay, David?
No.
No. Okay, so then I'm going to recommend that we, Kate, do we want to, I'm going to recommend that we vote on these since there's no questions, vote on these modifications in aggregate.
I would vote one fund at a time, yeah.
One fund at a time. Okay, so,
There's 4.
all right. So, I will entertain a motion to approve the general fund adjustments, aggregating a decrease of $141,080.
No,
Sorry.
isn't
No,
it
no.
Can we,
300?
Sorry.
the impact to the general fund is the 315.
Right.
Or do you want to do revenue versus expenditures?
Where am I?
You don't actually have,
I don't have.
You don't have that page.
wait, if you,
At the bottom of the page.
no, at the bottom of page 1?
Yeah, I had.
Oh, okay.
I had Jen's from earlier. Okay.
So that's a net.
So the net impact to the general fund from revenues and expenditure adjustments is a decrease of $315,081. I will entertain a motion to approve that adjustment for the general fund. Krista moves. May I have a second? Sarah? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. All right. The net impact to the capital non-recurring fund
It's not
Zero.
listed.
is 0.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
You just approve the changes.
all right,
Just
we'll
motion to
approve the changes as discussed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the changes as discussed. Sarah moves. May I have a second?
Second.
Kip? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. And same thing for the sewer operating fund.
So moved?
Kip will move. May I have a second? Sarah seconds. All those in favor? Okay. The sewer capital fund.
So moved?
Kip. May I have a second? Krista? All those in favor? Okay. And I don't see anything to vote on for the parking.
there were no changes. 0.
Okay. All right. Good. Now, do we have to vote on a resolution?
Yes, so,
that was from last night.
Yeah, I gave you blanks
Yeah,
last night,
you did.
so
Okay.
if you would like to fill in the blanks, Jen's given us the numbers.
Go slow, Jen.
She just gave it to me, so.
Oh.
Okay, you ready? So the general
Yes.
fund, $35,176,902. Okay.
Mhm.
Debt service, $9,199,992. You should have found $8 more. Transfers out to other funds, $3,358,024. Okay, so our total in the general fund is $47,734,918. Okay?
Mhm.
Sewer operating, $4,009,013. Is it easier if I read the digits?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, parking operations, 1097620. Capital, 3940656. Sewer capital, 99,500. Parking capital is 400,000 even.
Okay. I'm not going to read all those numbers, but I will read the resolution. It's a resolution for fiscal year 2020-2021 budget, whereas the Board of Selectmen have reviewed and evaluated the town administrator's proposed budget for fiscal year 2020 to 2021 and the six-year capital plan, and whereas the following completion of this review, a number of changes and modifications have been made to the budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Darien Board of Selectmen hereby approve and modify the annual budget for 2020-2021 and the six-year capital plan. Be it further resolved that the 2020-2021 budget and six-year capital plan be submitted to the Board of Finance for their consideration. May I have a motion to approve the resolution as stated?
So moved.
Kip moves. May I have a second? Krista? All those in favor? Okay, thank you very much.
Jen, can we just get it, what is that now, our change from last year? It's not part of the resolution, do you have that?
Yeah, it
Is it
was,
the page?
The expenditure change is a decrease of $5,770, which is 0.01%. The decrease for taxes required is $581,988, which is a decrease of 1.53%. And the change in the mill rate needed to support the selectmen's budget is a decrease of 0.13 mils, which is 2.87% decrease.
Okay. And I think you sent this to us, right?
it's the second page of
Yeah.
the
Okay, sorry.
spreadsheet that Jen
Thank you.
sent.
Okay. I want to thank my board for their good work. First time around for
Yeah.
newbies looking at the budget, although I think you're all pretty experienced, you've been on the RTM and Board of Ed, so you're very familiar. If there's nothing else to discuss this evening, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Kip moves. May I have a second? Sarah seconds. All those in favor? Thank you.